feeling crazy.
Another edition.
Mojo Monday, Rick Hale.
Mojo Monday, Brett Caldwell.
Tease me. When can I expect our Mojo Monday song? I've
It's
already
there,
heard the
man.
first rendition. It's pretty good.
It is pretty good, but I need a co-vocalist to make sure that it's publicly accessible and appealing.
All right, there's your all call.
I got my mojo.
Well, here's the funny thing. Like, when we started this journey, I guess I didn't realize the copyright of music and using it in streaming and all that stuff. So we play music, but I guess they got to cut most of it out. But we enjoy it, I guess. So now, if you're gonna write this song, so they'll actually get to hear it every day.
You got it. And I'll have the rights to play it. We can play it entirely throughout the entire show.
There you go.
You might not want to, but we've got a song called Mojo Monday.
Yeah. You know, I was laughing. I didn't intentionally do this, but I grabbed my coffee cup, my KW cup that says never settle.
Yeah, baby.
Got a book that says stop settling right here. This is in the flesh. Like that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, it's been awesome. The feedback's been great, and I'm looking forward to this summer touring and hosting workshops and classes. So it's going to be fun to share the content face to face too.
Yeah, and I think we're going to wrap this session up with a fun little thing that I'm pushing on you a little bit, but it has everything to do with this book being here. So chapter 9. Making better connections. You know, you open this chapter talking about we're the average of the 5 people closest to us. That's kind of a Jim Rohn quote. I remember early in my career, David Osborne was always telling me, like, Brett, who are your 5? You got to have 5 people around you. You know, it was always that leadership conversation. So it doesn't happen naturally is probably the first talking point. Like, you have to be purposeful around surrounding yourself with these people, right? But why don't you peel it back for a minute? Why is this such a powerful opening statement around making better connections?
Well, the important thing to recognize is that people influence us and we influence people. And so the idea behind enhancing your sphere of influence, or the people that have the greatest impact, isn't just, you know, you don't ditch your friends and get new ones just to get new ones. I mean, they're your friends for a reason, but you do have to take a deep breath and recognize, are they plus, minus, or neutral in terms of energy and in terms of influence? And, you know, I can promise you there's things you say and do that are directly correlated to the people that you spend the most time with. And, you know, quick example, I've got a friend, you know, down here in Marco Island that we fish occasionally, and we've become really good friends, super good guy. But he uses the word weird a lot, which is interesting. He's from Annapolis. I don't know, maybe it's an Annapolis, Maryland thing. I don't use the word weird. Like, I don't say, oh, that's weird. I might say interesting, fascinating, unique, some other term to illustrate or reflect that. But now I find myself going, yeah, that's weird. And so it's just, as silly as it is, there's evidence. So are they, you know, are the people in your inner circle adding value, deleting value, or neutral? And that's just something to be aware of as you move through life and either add or delete friends that maybe don't have relevance.
Well, I think it's really interesting to hear that, because we don't consciously realize that people influence us. Sometimes it just happens.
It does.
And language and environment influences us more than we probably are just consciously aware.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
100%.
Your subconscious hears him saying weird, and then at some point in time it leaks into your conscious and out your mouth into language, right?
That's it. 100%.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the inner circle, right? And this power of the inner circle, you know, parents are very consciously aware of this with their kids. Like, they were very consciously aware of who they want their kids hanging out with and who they don't want their kids hanging out with because of that influence. But then you translate that later in life, we're probably not as strict on our the people we surround ourselves with. Naturally, we have to unnaturally be purposeful around finding and seeking people out and putting ourselves in situations to find those people that are influencing us to be who we want to be. Did I explain that well?
I think you nailed it. You're
Yeah.
exactly right. And the more strategic you are, the easier it is to organically, or to your point, subconsciously elevate your aptitude and your connectivity to the gifts that they bring to the conversation. And sometimes you're stuck with people. I mean, and I mean that in a loving, kind way, but siblings and spouses and, people that you're permanently connected with, we're not again saying you should disavow them, but you definitely want to maybe infuse new people that are strategic and connected to where you want to be and not where you are, or where, so that you evolve in positive ways organically and subconsciously.
There you go. I love this thought. So I want to take this in. There's a concept called EQ versus IQ. And I don't know that we need to explain it, but IQ is really your intellect and EQ is your intuition, is probably an easy way to explain it.
Right.
But I think when we're talking in context of making better connections, a lot of us have a lot of knowledge and we can drop that knowledge on people, and we can look really smart and be smart, right? Yet
Yep.
the truth is it doesn't actually connect us to people. The EQ is probably the part that really creates that connection to us and people.
Absolutely. I mean, EQ is that emotional quotient is your ability to be empathetic and connect at an emotional level, not just intellectually, banter back and forth, which again,
Yeah.
it's not uncommon. You meet someone new, you want them to feel impressed with your capacity to whatever it is you're trying to impress them with. But EQ really comes down to listening better, asking better questions, and being more observant of behavior and energy, because, we've all heard it and it's true that no one cares what, you can do until they know you care. And
Yeah.
so by illustrating, care, I mean, it's making eye contact, it's being present in the conversation and not distracted. It's listening and feeding back information so that they're confirmed that you're hearing and you're picking up what they're putting down, so to speak, as a funny saying.
There you go. I love it. I mean, I first heard it from a gentleman named Dick Dillingham, who's an awesome mentor of mine, but he uses this acronym COOL, KOOL, and it stands for keen observer of life. And for whatever reason, that stuck with me because I think the IQ means you're giving intellect out to the world, and EQ means you're observing intuition in others, right? And your ability to kind of read the situation, read other people. And the only way you really can do that is you have to be a keen observer of life, right?
Yeah, you've got to be paying attention to emotional cues and clues. And the fact of the matter is, the more likable you are, the more trustworthy you'll be perceived, and the more, the odds of people, supporting you in whatever endeavor you have, whether it's referral based business or buying your product and service, or just being a committed friend. I mean,
Yeah.
everything gets elevated when you apply strong EQ strategies, and it's not just strategic, it's truly being sincere, because inauthentic doesn't work in the EQ department. That's the whole idea, is that it's about authentic connections.
So let me back all the way up to the beginning of this chapter. Why do I care to make better connections? Like, I feel like I've met people along my journey that's like, I'm good. I don't want any friends. I don't want to be on social media. Everybody annoys me. Like, why should I care about this?
Well, I mean, at the end of your life, it's probably going to be, if you're going to play the, glad you did or wish you had, the glad you did part will probably be the people around you and the relationships you've built and the experiences that you've had. And so your experiences are limited by the capacity of the people in your inner circle to contribute to those.
Yeah.
It's hard to outrun, the inner workings of how, the person closest to you behaves. You're going to have to contend with it, and either inspires or devalues, your dreams and hopes. So here's the bottom line. If you're hitting the mark, you're getting everything you want from life, and the people around you are truly inspiring and helping you go and grow, then don't do anything. Just keep investing, keep pouring your money. That's like a good portfolio. Keep pouring money into that one and double down every day.
Yeah, of course. And our industry is a sales industry, so the ability to connect with people has everything to do with how much money you make, right? Or
It does.
how much influence you create in the space around people buying and selling
Yeah.
whatever that product is.
But it's also hard not to give people opportunities that you really like and appreciate and respect. And again, if they give more than they get, they're going to fall into the highly likable and trustworthy category organically. And so even in corporate America, where you're not out trying to necessarily build a database of target, sales, it relationally, if you ever want to go and grow, even inside of a corporate structure, the relationship matters as much as your core aptitude or skill.
100%. Well, Rick, one of the cool things about this chapter, and I'm not going to give it away, but you put some really amazing lists in this chapter, and you go through 24 areas of expanding ways you can expand your influence. Probably one of the best lists I've seen. So if I'm building a business or I'm wanting to network to find my way to get into relationship with people, I'll tell you, this chapter 9 has probably one of the best lists to start with. So thank you for compiling that. And I was looking at it, reminding myself, going, and there's a lot of options, and doing all is overwhelming. So you got to find what works for you, right? Like, don't go do all 24 is what I'm saying. Yeah.
It would be near impossible. It's like trying to be the friend of the entire universe. You can't.
Yeah.
But part of why I created the list, one was for, again, people in sales. If you're going to go expand your network and find groups of where there's like, kind, and commonality, that makes it easier. Like the more your special interest in the things that get you excited, if you find yourself in a circle of people who are excited by the same things, it's going to take 30 seconds for you guys to light each other up and get excited about it. And you've already got this baseline to for the relationship. If you put me in a room with computer programmers, I wouldn't know where to start intellectually. I could listen well, but there wouldn't be that natural connecting point. So the idea behind the list is extract the ones that are most likely to connect quickest and go strategically find groups that have that special interest. 100%. And so that's half of it. It's like, who's my tribe? That's the question you should ask. Where and where are they? Well, and then go find them.
Want to connect with, right?
Exactly. And then the next question though should be, where do I want to go and grow? Like what should my tribe be if I were to expand on this area of my life? So the cool thing about my belief in the list is that it's if you connect with people that are going where you want to go or already at the place that you're headed and want to be, then it's going to be a fun journey no matter the outcome. So you're unattached necessarily. There's no need to try to compel or convince. It's just going to be a natural fit. And if you're strategic in looking at your wheel of life and you say, hey, you know what? No one person's good at everything. Where are people that are really good at this sliver where I want to go and grow? Whether it's health, fitness, travel, who's got a massive bucket list that I could, talk to about, what's it like to go climb X number of mountains or go travel to, swim in the 4, major seas, and where have you been and where do I need to go if I were to experience that? And those people can just jumpstart that exciting conversation.
Absolutely. I think it's a pretty amazing list you started, but it's just a good reminder just to engage, right?
Yeah.
All right, I want to push on you for a minute. So this is my time in the Mojo Monday. If we're going to go through your book, I get to ask you one of the questions out of the back of the chapter. And one of the questions at the back of this chapter is, what's your elevator speech? And I think when we were prepping for this, you were like, is there not a different question? Like, why are you asking? What? I don't want to answer that question. But why? I think tell us why you don't want to answer that question first.
Well, mainly because I'm in a place that, I wrote the book so people could land where I've landed, or at least experience the freedom that I have, and that I have enough passive income to overcome my core bills. So I can work or not work. And the point is, I love working. So I know it's a labor of love and that it means something because I've chosen it. It's not required. And so a little bit of the complexity in answering it is that I don't have a job. It's not like I look at my job description and go, well, I'm responsible for compliance. I'm responsible for recruiting. I'm responsible for sales and, whatever, fill in the blank. So at this point in life, I've got this it's not a blank slate because I've already picked a path. I'm an author now. I'm a coach and I'm a trainer. Those are the things and I'm an infuser of positivity. That's my goal. Chief Energy and Education Officer is my official title, but it's self-proclaimed. And so to say, what's your 60-second, the idea behind a 60-second elevator speech is that if someone were to ask you what you do, you've got to be able to compel them to want to further the conversation, either in another meeting or something more formal. And the idea of the elevators, you've got a very finite amount of time together. And so what can you say about yourself that's intriguing? And so, I like to coach and elevate the mindset and perspective so that people become wealthy holistically. I mean, I want to help people go and grow in all categories of life. And if that would be my elevator speech, I just want to add value.
I think it really hadn't changed that much. I don't think. No,
I guess at the end of it,
added author to it, and you're wrestling with the humility of that, I think.
Yeah, it's still weird to sign books, but at the same time, man, I want people to feel honored and loved and respected. And that goes back to EQ. The more you're able to exercise that muscle, man, you'll have an unlimited list of friends waiting to hang out.
Yeah. All right, Rick Hale, Mojo Monday, my friend.
Mojo Monday. Appreciate you, Brett.
I will say, as we're taking out of this, those white stripes going down the middle of a road?
Yeah.
You might have a few on your face.
Well, you know what? I'm living in the sunshine. I thought to hop up and kick the shade, but then I thought, man, this just love life, love sun, man. Get your vitamin D. There's the message there.
We're real, and I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, get some vitamin D.